All right, we're switching gears a little bit today for the time being. We're in a little bit of a dry spell here, and before I forget to do it again, we are going to come on. Get this hole taken care of so that it's checked off the list. I got 12 bags of concrete. Hopefully that's enough. Basically, the correct way to do this would be to get a concrete saw and come back here and cut, but in the end, this is just a band-aid, because eventually what's going to happen is one of two things. Either A, this concrete is all going to get ripped out, there's going to be a small apron poured right here, and then it's going to get stoned, or there's going to be concrete poured from the end of the milk house to the end of the barn and just redo this whole pad, one or the other. So there doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to throw a bunch of time and effort into this to turn around in a few years and bust it all back out. So I'm just filling the hole. Raise it up a little bit, probably try to get it if I come back into here and at least get it, put a thin layer up to this level, it might pop off and break, and if so be it. If it does, it just, as long as this hole's full, that's the big thing. So first thing I gotta do, as long as I get the Mini out of here and put it in the other barn for now, because stuff's gonna be slightly, that's the other reason I want to get this done. Is right now I'm at a point where nothing should have to come out of here for the next few days while this concrete's setting up. So I need to get the Mini out of here and put it up in the other barn for now. Get the concrete mixer dug out. I need to put all of Shelly's gourds somewhere, because then I could use this wagon. So anyhow, let me get a game plan put together here, and we'll catch you guys in a minute. Okay, we can get these blocks out of here, throw them back in the concrete pile. This is all done, I gotta go get the skid steer and level all that dirt out that Dad brought over here. Alright, I got it cleaned out good enough for what it needs to be. There was, what, four chunks that were right here that were broke, so I pulled those out. That one doesn't want to move, so it's just going to stay, and that one's going to stay. So I want to have Dad come over and look at it, because I'm leery about pouring over this lip on the foundation. So I don't know if I need to do something, stuff some 2x4s in there or something to form against, or if I can just pour over top of it. Because the barn foundation really shouldn't frost heave. This should frost heave, if anything. So if this is on top of that, it shouldn't be a problem. But I just want Dad to look at it before I go pouring any concrete. So he's going to be over in a little bit to look at it, and then we will continue. All right, talked to Dad. He didn't see anything wrong with pouring over top of that, because the weight of this pad in itself isn't going to be shit, and it's going to be floating separate from everything else anyhow, so there's really no reason to freak out about it. And I did manage to get this last chunk out of this corner. It took some work, but I got it, and cleaned out the cracks. So next thing I'm going to do real quick is go take the diamond cup wheel and just go around the outside here and just clean it up a little bit, give it a clean surface to bite to. Alright, I think that's as far as I'm going to go on the prep work for the Band-Aid that it is. I'll tell you what though, I wish the whole slab was in better shape, because you hit it with a cup wheel, it makes it look almost like a new slab. It's nice and smooth, it's level. So anyhow, I guess we can gotta find me a clean bucket to measure water in, and I guess we will start pouring. Alright, I don't exactly remember how many bags we were mixing, but I think it was either 2 or 3. Wondering if I had these 2 bags left over from doing the barn. I was wondering if they were going to end up a little chunky, but that's why I'm putting them in the first mix. That way they're on the bottom if there's any chunks that end up in them. I'm guessing it was 2 bags, because I don't think I'm going to fit a third in there. I want this to have a relatively low slump, that way I can form it and it'll stay. It's gonna need more water. Alright, that extra little bit of water I put in was just enough to make it go from too dry to soup, just like that. So I ended up busting a third bag loose and shoveling it in until I got it the way I wanted it. But this is my first time ever mixing concrete 100% solo by myself, so you'll have that. This thing really needed to have the axle forward just a hair. Three bags went further than I thought it would. Well, probably closer to 2.5. Alright, next batch. Alright, this batch went a lot better. I didn't have to add anything to it. Although that being said, it is amazing how it can be dry and hung up in the drum, and you put one splash of, just a little splash of water, and it goes from dry to soup like that. That's a little bit closer to the consistency I wanted it on the first shot. hate concrete work, but there is something satisfying about it. All right, there's that. It only took 9 bags, so now I got 3 left over to do something with. So yeah, this up in here, like I say, it's only, you know, yay thick at its thickest point. Might break off, might not. I think what I'm gonna do after it dries is I'll bring a grinder down here with a masonry wheel, and on this crack right here where it transitions to on top of the slab, I'll put a score mark in it. That way if it does break off, it doesn't hurt this part. But I don't think it'll be too bad. This slab doesn't appear to move a whole lot throughout the year. So also learned a lesson. I could not, this edge right here, could not get it to look good, like, okay, I'll see what happens if I wet the slab. So I brought the garden hose down here and real gently slapped some water on it. Finished just fine. So if you're pouring on top of concrete, apparently you wet the concrete and it makes life easier. Which makes sense, because dry concrete is going to be sapping all the water out of your fresh concrete. So the wetter you can keep it for longer, the better it's going to set. So anyhow, I guess we will let that sit here for an hour or so, and then I'll have to refloat it. Nope. This is going to be the next challenge, is keeping the dogs out of it. Over here. There you go. Of course, once I'm not down here, it shouldn't be an issue, but I still got to get the mess cleaned up. So I will get everything cleaned up around here, and like I say, we'll let that set, and I'll come back and refloat it and see where we end up from there, and we'll go get the skid steer and start working on some dirt. All right, it's been a little bit more than an hour. It stayed glazy for a while, so I didn't want to do it with a bunch of moisture on top. But I did go get the skid steer, so I'm gonna refloat this real quick, and then we'll get the skid steer unloaded. Well, like I said, I hate concrete work, but there is something satisfying about it when you're done and it looks like that. I ain't no concrete guy, but I don't think that's too bad. So, with that being said, I'll get the skid steer unloaded, and we'll get that out of here and get that taken care of so I can get it back to Boss Man, because they're raking hay right now. So he got lucky. Up until, what day did I mow? He picked up a field last minute. It's actually a really nice field. It's got alfalfa, there's some clover, it's got grass. It was planted to hay. It's owned by a great big yuppie horse arena outfit. And by great big, I mean massive. I bet that horse barn's got to be, the barn and facilities, if it's not north of $1 million without the property. I'm just talking about the barn, the barn and the facilities themselves. I'd be impressed. But they got all this really nice, you know, horse arena, horse barn, riding arena, yada yada yada. Don't own a single piece of haymaking equipment, not a one. So they put in, it's like 20 acres of hay. They had somebody to make it for them, and they backed out. So it's gone all this year, never been cut. And I'm impressed. There was some spots that had some Canada thistle coming into it, but I'd say 90% of it or better was really clean. And if you look past the orchard grass that was, you know, yay tall and dead, once you got it knocked down and there was more green than brown, it was actually some really nice looking hay, and he basically gets it for free. They just wanted it mowed. So, and it's gonna be, so I bet he's, I can't remember what his baler is, a 6x4 round baler, I think is what his makes. I think they're 4 foot wide, 6 foot diameter. He's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 bales an acre off of it, if not more. I mean, that stuff's thick. But he got lucky because I mowed it Thursday, and up until Thursday it had been getting down almost, one day I woke up, it was 50 degrees out. So I mean, we were getting really far down. We were hitting that dew point pretty hard, and we were getting dew that looked like you got a ½ inch rain overnight. And I dropped that hay Thursday, and Thursday night, Friday night, last night, it hasn't gotten much below 60, and the dews have been really light, so he's got lucky. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm gonna get the skid steer unloaded so we can get on with our afternoon. All right, don't mind all the manure. Kyle was cleaning cow lots with it earlier this week when it was raining.
That dirt went a lot further than I thought it would. A lot further. The ultimate goal here is to get that bank along the road tapered enough that I can keep it mowed, because right now it's, well, at the point where I'm at, it's damn near straight up and down. It comes off the road about 4 foot for the berm, and then it damn near just drops straight down. Makes it kind of hard to maintain. So Dad said he's doing more digging because he's going to change the way the wall is back behind the house. He figures out about 8 more loads of dirt, so all of that is going to go back there along the road. I just put a thin layer over this to kind of smooth it up. So in the end, I might end up putting, it'd be nice to raise all that down there up about a foot. It would probably, that should get it up high enough that it won't hold water anymore, because it's not actually like a wet spot. It's just it's a low spot, and everything off of the road drains down and lays here until it dries out, and that's how come it gets so swampy down there. And then you get under the power lines and it's actually like swampy, mucky, nasty, that's where I want the pond to be eventually. But this right here just needs to come up a hair so that it'll keep pushing the water that way rather than trapping it, because everything drains off of that field down to here, out of the yard down to here, off of the road down to here. And I think the water even comes, it's hard to tell because there's 2 culverts under the road. Where they are and the direction they're heading doesn't make a lick of sense, but I'm pretty sure all the water from that side of the road actually drains down to here too, so it's a mess. But anyhow, I accomplished everything that I set out to do today. Biggest issue I've been having here is keeping leaves off of it. Here. Come here. Oh, well, apparently a bird feather. Come here. Starting to set. It's firmed up, so that'll be nice, not having that big huge hole, especially trying to back the rake in, because it never failed. You'd back over it and then the wheel would try to spin sideways and just fall down in between the bricks, and then you're stuck there and you don't want to snap the axle, so you got to pick it up and pull it out of the hole and reset, and this will be better. But with that being said, I think we're gonna call it here for today. I'm gonna get the skid steer back and see what time it is, because I guess we gotta go get, Shelly wanted to go to St. Joe and get pizza tonight, so I guess I gotta do that. So we'll see what time it is when I get back. I kind of wanted to mess with that HFS sign a little bit tonight and start getting that thing ready to hang too, so tomorrow I'm up in the air as to what we're gonna do, so I guess we'll see how I feel in the morning as to which direction we're gonna head in. So I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.